Analyzing a property successfully is what sets us apart as successful real estate investors. Bad investments can be an expensive mistake. Do you want that to be you? I didn't think so. I'm Amy Mahjoory, and today we're going to be diving into the essentials that we need in our real estate investing arsenal when it's time to analyze a deal. So what does specifically our property analysis checklist look like? What do we need to get out there and confidently analyze a deal before we move forward with next steps? This one toolbox can make all the difference in your real estate investing success. So let's break it down. But first, meet my friend Dave. Dave literally wrote the book on real estate note investing for BiggerPockets, and his company, PPR Capital Management, wants you to be a part of their real estate investment fund. No tenants, no maintenance, or property managers, just headache-free cash flow. Dave and his team at PPR invest in mortgage notes and commercial real estate nationwide, and since 2007, Dave's team has never missed a passive monthly income payment. Looking for cash flow? Accredited investors can get started at investwithppr.com. That is investwithppr.com. Now let's get back to the show. Now we're going to break down exactly what the very first step is when you're ready to start analyzing deals to determine if they're even profitable. The very first thing we want to do, whether we're brand new real estate investors or experienced, is focus on the location. So I'm going to use the term target market. So which pocket do we want to focus on? Because that's the pocket we're going to put all of our energy into looking for deals. A very common mistake, and I made this mistake as well as a brand new real estate investor, is focusing on your entire city or your entire county or multiple neighborhoods at once. So to streamline this process for you in order to set yourself up successfully, when you're out there and you're ready to start submitting offers and you're looking for deals, pick one zip code. Really start to understand that zip code, the demographics, who your customer is. Are they young families? Are they older families getting ready to sell because their kids went to college? What's the nightlife like? Are there restaurants, bars, activities? Do these zip codes have big yards or small yards? Are they kid friendly or not? Are they individuals who are just graduating college so they don't really care about some of these things? So really focus first on picking one zip code, understand the demographics, the growth that may be happening in that area, talk to multiple experts, talk to multiple realtors, and then pick one zip code to start. Even though in some cities, this zip code may be very urban and in others it may be very rural, that's okay. Start with one zip code. Now it's time for our property walkthrough. This is the exciting part, whether we're new or experienced. Always take your camera. Your camera can be a phone. Every time we walk through a property, we want to record it. We want to capture the outside, the inside to help you later when you're doing your desktop analysis. So conduct a thorough inspection. You want to understand the overall condition of the home. When you start on the outside, maybe take some sort of a checklist with you if you have it. So I have what's called a repair estimator. For those of you who are newer to real estate investing and maybe you don't have your own repair estimator or rehabbing checklist, that's okay. Start to create one. Start with your own house. Start with your neighbor's house, a friend's house, and literally walk around the inside and the outside of the house and start to make a list of all the different things that may be damaged in a property and just create a checklist. So even as a brand new real estate investor, and even now, 10 years in, every time I walk a property, I take my repair estimator with me, and my repair estimator has a bunch of items that a house may need repairs. Maybe it's the roof, maybe it's the siding, maybe it's things like landscaping, the garage door, the front door, windows. So start to create a checklist of all of the exterior characteristics of a property. And once you're done walking that property and casually recording it on your cell phone, then you want to go into the property and do the same thing. So look at the ceiling, look at the walls, look at the floors. Depending on what you've studied when you identified your target market, does the kitchen need a high-end makeover or just like an average middle income type of a makeover? It's mostly going to be kitchen, bathroom, flooring paint when you're in the middle income price points. Look for signs of structural damage. Now look, some of you may be so new that you're not sure, if I blow out this wall, which we all want to do I need a beam to hold the rest of the house up? If you're not sure, just overestimate. That's okay. When I first started investing in real estate, I was overestimating every single one of my properties by 25. And that wasn't on purpose. That wasn't a buffer. That was a mistake because I wasn't sure what I was doing. The more you practice, the better you will get. Do you need to put in new floors? Can you just do an overlay? Can you sand and stain? Do you want to paint the entire house? Usually when we're renovating a house, we're going to want to at least paint it all to make it look fresh. If the windows are fine and there's no damage on the windows, there's no need to replace the windows. So walk through the inside of the house, take videos as you're narrating of what you're walking through. And a lot of us as brand new real estate investors, we're not going to understand the mechanics inside the house. Does it need all new electrical work, all new plumbing, all new HVAC? I don't know. So if you're not sure, then take a picture of all of these mechanics in the closets, whatever is exposed. So later you can walk through with a contractor. Remember, all of these flaws may raise a red flag with this property, but you don't want any surprises. And guess what? The more you practice it and the more red flags you see, more than likely, the better the investment, right? There's a saying out there that says mold is gold. A lot of people are scared of things like mold. Later, we'll talk about building your power team. When you find someone who knows how to treat mold, that's not a big deal. So the more red flags, the better. Just make sure you account for them. All right. So that is everything you need in order to complete your property walkthrough, and make sure you're very diligent and thorough during that walkthrough. We don't want to have any surprises. Now we're on to step 3, which is our financial analysis. A lot of the time I like to refer as a desktop analysis. So this is where we go back home, we walk the property, we take all of our notes and our videos, and we start to crunch our numbers and determine whether or not this deal makes sense. This is one of the most important items in our financial analysis. We have to understand how to analyze deals. So understanding the return on our investment as a percentage of the deal, not a dollar amount, is very critical. So here's what I mean. There are so many investors, new and experienced, who will reach out to me and say, for example, let's use a flip as a strategy. Hey, Amy, I found this amazing deal. I can buy this house for $100,000. And I think I only need to put in like $25,000 and I can sell it for $200,000. What do you think? And my response is always the same. It's like, well, I don't know. You've only given me 3 variables: the purchase price, the renovation cost, and our resale value. So we have so much that goes into our financial analysis that without all of those other variables, it's hard for us to determine whether or not we have a deal. Things like, what are our holding costs? What's the cost of our capital? What are our taxes? Our utilities? Every time we acquire a property, whether it's a single family home or something else, we have to get insurance, right? So all of these things have to be included as a part of our financial desktop analysis before we even understand whether or not we have a deal. So have some sort of a property analysis template, a deal analyzer, whatever it is that you use that spits out a number at the bottom and tells you, yes, this is a deal. So for me, I have a property analysis template. And what that is I basically created this 1-page deal analyzer. And it takes into account all of these cost variables, even things that we don't think about, like if you're renovating a condo, the association and the dues that are a part of the deal. And at the very bottom of my spreadsheet, it's going to spit out a number. And I have both a dollar return and a percentage return. It's a very common mistake for new and experienced real estate investors is they're just going to focus on the dollar return. So let's say, for example, we plug all the numbers into your deal analyzer and it spits out a number saying you're going to make a $75,000 return. People get very excited when they see $75,000 because most of the time this is in less than a year. That $75,000 may only equal a 9% ROI, return on our investment. If it's only 9%, it's actually not a deal. So what I started doing when I first began investing in real estate was I never looked at the dollar amount. I only looked at the ROI as a percentage of the deal. And especially as a brand new real estate investor, I only moved forward if it was a net ROI of 15%. Later, once I really knew my numbers, I built my power team, more on that later, I was comfortable going down to a 10% ROI. The reason why this is important is we want to minimize our risk and avoid the costly mistakes. If you're out there buying a house that's going to retail for $600,000, a $75,000 projected return can be wiped away in one or two change orders. So it's all relative to the price of the house. That's why always focus on the ROI as a percentage of the deal. After we've completed our desktop analysis, we've crunched all of our numbers, we've gone through our checklist for every single cost variable that goes into the deal. One other strategy for us to keep in mind is the ability to have multiple exit strategies. So if you're out there and you're analyzing a deal that you want to flip, for example, consider analyzing that deal as a rental property. Maybe it's a short-term rental, a mid-term rental, a long-term rental. If for whatever reason there are shifts in the economy, that doesn't matter. We just want to be able to pivot and change our strategy. So if we're not going to make as much on a flip, maybe we decide to hold it and turn it into a rental. So the ability to have multiple exit strategies is also something you may want to consider. That's a wrap, folks. We're going to focus on 3 things as it pertains to your property analysis template, your checklist for walking deals and looking for red flags, which is number 1, identifying your target market, narrowing it down to 1 zip code. Number 2 is your property walkthrough. Walk the outside of the house, the inside of the house, take photos, take videos, create some sort of a checklist to understand what may or may not need to be replaced or repaired. Then step 3 is your financial desktop analysis. Take all of those cost variables, put them together into a spreadsheet, run your numbers and determine, is your net ROI 15% or more before you get out there and submit your offer. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Amy Mahjoory. You can find me on Instagram at Amy Mahjoory. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe to the BiggerPockets channel for more videos just like this, or go to BiggerPockets.com to check out all of the amazing tools they have for new investors. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and have a great day.